I was seeing this girl over the summer, and things were going well. One night we were about to hook up, but she's got a random nosebleed in the middle of it. Like, out of nowhere, her nose started bleeding. At least that's what I told the cops. And, you know... You know what's interesting about making out with someone who's bleeding? You don't know for a while. Because I'm not making out with my eyes open like some kind of creep, like, oh, I like to watch. I want to remember this. So you just kind of go until you taste blood. Pennies. Huh? So that kind of killed the vibe for the night. We never ended up having sex. And then just because of scheduling, like, we never got to hang out again after that. Like, I went on tour and she didn't want to talk to me anymore, so we just went our separate ways. But then a couple months later, she showed up on a reality TV show called The Bachelor. Ooh. 6 people watch the show. That's good. It's a reality TV show, right? They take 40 women, they make them live in the same house and date one guy, and they're not allowed outside contact with the world. It's like Survivor, but they let them shave. So... She didn't end up marrying the guy on TV, but she went viral because her name's Katie, but they just called her the dildo girl. Because like Survivor, you get to bring an emotional support item from home, and she brought a giant dildo. And now she has like 1 million Instagram followers, and I feel like she owes me. Because if we'd actually had sex that night, she wouldn't be the dildo girl, you know what I'm saying? Yeah? She'd be the very sexually satisfied reality show contestant. That is not getting anybody 1 million Instagram followers. I'm her origin story. If she hadn't left my house so unsatisfied, well, it sounds like we did hook up, kinda, but anyway, she became the Bachelorette, which is exciting. Yeah. As soon as that happened, everybody I know was like, you gotta go on the show and you gotta win her back. This is your destiny. I was like, all right, I don't know how much I want to lean into that, you know? I don't need my claim to fame to be, I'm the guy who couldn't close the deal with the horny chick from TV. That's me, you know? TMZ's chased me through airports. It's the guy who got rejected by Snooki. All right, thank you. No autographs, please. Now that the show is on, I'm so glad that they didn't pick me to be on it, because it's reality TV. That would have been a disaster. They're not looking for me. They want symmetrical faces and white teeth, and every guy on there is like, I'm a firefighter, but this is my orphanage. I look after it in my spare time, you know? It's all, every intro is like, it's Greg, he plays hockey, and they show him playing hockey. And I'm like, what would they do with me? You know, like, Andrew's a comedian. It's just me jerking off in a La Quinta, you know? Like, I'm here for the right reasons. So I can stop doing this all the time. Sorry for the visual. Or you're welcome. I'm actually really glad that the relationship ended like that, because there's closure, right? Most relationships end and you just don't talk to each other for a while because of the judge. And just me. But this happened, and now I just get to watch TV and go, oh, well, it's obvious she still wants me. I mean, what does this guy have that I don't besides abs and a job? That makes sense, actually. It's a really tough year to be single because of COVID, right? Because I didn't want to get it. And I don't think I got it, by the way. I think I'm the only person that thinks that. Everyone I talk to is like, oh yeah, I had it back in 2012. Shit was crazy. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm just trying to keep my distance anyway, but... I have friends like that. They're like, dude, maybe you had it, you just don't know. I'm like, I think I'm gonna know. I can feel a winter storm coming in my right leg, but I'm being asymptomatic for the worst virus in 100 years. I don't think so. I've never been asymptomatic for anything in my entire life. They say 50% of chlamydia cases are asymptomatic, but I've felt it every single time. So I basically just didn't have sex for an entire year, which I don't recommend, but now that I'm through, when it comes to humping, I'm like a camel, you know? I can just go a long time through a dry stretch. And because I wanted to keep touring, and it's like you can't be on Tinder. There's enough diseases on there as it is. You don't want to add COVID to the list. And so what I would do is I'd basically, like, I had to go to one of the cooler states, you know? Like, either like Washington's in like phase 2, but Texas was phase too many people are alive the whole time. So I would like fly there, go do a show, fly back, get tested, and then just hide out in my apartment in case I got sick. And people were like, why would you go on tour during a pandemic? And it's a complicated answer, so just bear with me. But I heard a story about Jim Carrey. Early on in his comedy career, he wrote himself $1 million check and then post-dated it for like 10 years in the future as a way to motivate himself to become famous. And then when that day came around, he was able to cash $1 million check to himself. And I did a similar thing. It's called credit cards. And the whole time I was like, money isn't real. And then they're like, we want that back. And I was like, guess I'm on tour during coronavirus. And but a couple months ago, I was on tour, and this girl came up to me after a show. She goes, I've already had COVID. I was like, oh, that is a great pickup line. You should keep using that. I feel so safe when I'm with you. And we hit it off. We had a couple drinks. End of the night, we were making out. And then I got nervous in the middle of kissing her because I was like, well, I know she doesn't have it, but what if it's just like on her? Right? Look, I'm not a scientist. I don't know how it works, but if she's got the antibodies, she's probably just, you know, raw dogging it without a mask the whole time. Just collecting loose COVID all over her face, or I don't know. Maybe she's got leftovers. I don't know how it works. Either way, I'm over here like, yeah, spit in my mouth. That's hot, you know? It's tough to be single just because of all the social change we've had the last couple years. It makes it interesting. I was reading a Playboy for the articles, and there was an article that said modern consent is where someone is as enthusiastic about having sex with you as you are with them. I was like, I don't think I've ever had consensual sex. Like, I'm so glad you guys laugh at that joke. I swear, every time I'm like, hope this one works. I'm not saying no one wants to fuck me, it's just I'm doing most of the convincing, you know what I mean? But this article made it sound like sex is supposed to be like launching a nuclear missile, where I'm like, I have a key and you have a key, and we both turn it at the same time, and then phone the president to confirm the launch codes. Like, that sounds amazing. Just not happening often, I don't know. Consent is tricky, I guess. Because sometimes consent is too enthusiastic, and that scares me off also. It's this weird Goldilocks zone, which is an awkward name for a joke about consent, because I don't think she had permission to go in that house. But I was texting a girl one time, and I invited her over. She goes, as long as you're not gonna murder me. I was like, I'm not gonna murder you, but I'll choke you if you ask. She goes, shouldn't even have to ask. I was like, oof. I think you should have to ask. I think that's important. I appreciate the enthusiasm. It's just a lot of red flags for me. I mean, not enough, you know, we still fucked. But the whole time, I was like, hey, you better watch yourself. 16 or 17 more red flags. I am out of here, all right? You better be careful.